What is up, everyone? My name is James McCool. I'm the owner of PayDirtDFS.com, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Usually I do a full write-up over at PayDirt to write down my Showdown season article, which goes over each Showdown slate for the NFL season, talking about captain exposures, flex exposures, some duplication stuff, and my overall thoughts on the slate. Today, however, I'm going to be doing a video on it. I'll still have some brief thoughts up above in terms of how I think the slate breaks down, but today we're going to be trying out a new video format. So if you guys hate this, then that's fine. I can go back to the writing stuff on Thursday, but I want to try out something new. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to be using the range of outcomes over at the site. If you don't know how to get there, you just go to PayDirtDFS.com, go to Sports Model, Sports, NFL, and then drop down to the Showdown contest simulations. If this tool is running slowly, there is a backup one for capacity as well. We're going to be looking at a medium and average run here, just using PayDirt projections, which is what I always do for these. Quick note that your results may differ in the output frames. That's just because there's random variation used in the contest simulations. So run it a couple times, see what sticks out, and go with that. You know, that's how you should be using these things. So let's go ahead and go close up on the screen here. So we're going to be taking a look at captain exposures first. So if we zoom out here and we sort by edge, looks like the most edge is offered by Jaden Reed overall at captain. His projected ownership is around 6%, and his exposure in the winning contests is around 11%, so he gets 5% edge over the field. The largest edge lost is going to be on Jimmy Garoppolo at captain, so his projected ownership at captain is around 21%. He has a negative 9% leverage. He only shows up in a winning lineup in the contests around 12% of the time. We can say basically the same thing for Jordan Love. Both quarterbacks look quite a bit overvalued when it comes to the captain slot. The other one that looks quite a bit overvalued is A.J. Dillon at the captain slot, only showing up in 1% of winning lineups when you simulate out the contest. So then we're going to move on to flex exposures here. We're going to do the same thing. We're just going to zoom this out. We're going to sort by edge. And we're going to take a look. So the best overall flex play in terms of leverage gained is going to be Josh Jacobs. Shows up in 73% of winning lineups in the contest simulations, projected at only 49% ownership in the flex. Gives him a really, really nice cushion here. So even if he ends up being 55, 60% owned in the flex, you still get quite a bit of edge on him in terms of the exposures that he has. The other ones are obviously going to be Devontae Adams is a big one, and then Romeo Doubs. One other note, you're going to get a lot of these $200 players. It just is it's a feature of the Sims just because they're trying to jam in Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams, Romeo Doubs, stuff like that. If we sort by negative, we're going to find that Patrick Taylor looks like the player that is the most overvalued. And this makes sense if you think about it, right? Patrick Taylor, while he does offer good value, he's not really necessary to build high-quality lineups tonight. The pricing is relatively loose, so $200 Patrick Taylor, even though he's going to be very popular, doesn't necessarily offer a lot in terms of roster construction upside. So that's something to think about. He does look like one of the most overvalued plays tonight by a pretty good amount. After him, you have Jimmy Garoppolo, who just looks overvalued in general tonight. And then we have Luke Musgraves and then Jaden Reed. But these guys are kind of misnomers. These guys, Patrick Taylor and Jimmy Garoppolo, look like the most anti-leverage in terms of plays. So then I'm going to hop over to the Showdown Optimizer, and I'm going to run some things to take a look at what I expect to be the highest owned lineups. So the way that I do that is I just go to large field GPP. I say that I want to produce 100 lineups, and then I just go ahead and optimize. And this is going to produce out, of course, 100 lineups. And then what we're going to do is we're going to sort by ownership. So this should give us an idea of the lineups that look like they're going to be the highest owned overall and thus the highest duplicated. Again, as I always say in the article, you shouldn't be using these lineups to play in GPPs. These should be lineups that you are outright avoiding. You do not want to be duplicating in showdown contests. That's very #bad. It just cuts down on your EV a lot, but that's a story for another day. We're trying to keep this video relatively short. So we just ran 100 lineups. Let's sort these by ownership and kind of take a look at what we get. So High ownership here, 280, 279, 275. This is going to be Austin Hooper, Dontavian Wicks captain lineups. And then we have some A.J. Dillon, some Jimmy Garoppolo, and then some Jordan Love. So these ones are probably going to be the ones that we see the most of, starting at this A.J. Dillon line and then moving down here. And a lot of what we're getting is A.J. Dillon and Jimmy Garoppolo. We are always getting Devontae Adams. We're always getting Jordan Love or Jimmy Garoppolo. We're always getting Josh Jacobs. So that combination of Jimmy Garoppolo, Devontae Adams, Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, those are going to be the biggest combo that we end up having to deal with. We saw from the contest sims that Jimmy Garoppolo looks like the odd man out, so avoiding him will help him manage your dupes quite a bit. And then you can just kind of, from there, think about, okay, well, Patrick Taylor's another guy who looks like he's going to be really high-owned and probably not that good of a play. So removing him and Jimmy Garoppolo, that's probably going to be plenty to manage your dupes, at least in small field contests. When you get into large field, you start thinking about some direct leverage stuff. So, overall thoughts on this slate. This is a really good slate. For the most part, the models are favoring the Las Vegas side, and I think that makes a lot of sense whether they win or not. Las Vegas is one of the most condensed offenses in the league. Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams, and Jacoby Myers basically get like 90% of the total offensive opportunities when Jimmy Garoppolo is on the field. So those guys should just continue to do that. There's really no reason to go away from them, and jamming those guys in makes a lot of sense because they're just going to be the entire offense one way or another. If we think about the other side, there's a lot of question marks that we have regarding the workloads now that Christian Watson is back and completely healthy and should play the entire game. Christian Watson is the wide receiver 1, but Romeo Doubs has a little bit better of target running or target per route run. So we have to think about things like that. Jordan Love is probably the one constant on that team, where I think you play him and then you just jam in the great Las Vegas side. If you're going to play Josh Jacobs captain, then what you should probably be doing is considering that Green Bay is not going to move the ball especially well, and one of Devontae Adams or Jacoby Myers is likely not going to get there. So maybe going with a Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams, a 2-4 with a Green Bay lean, but with Josh Jacobs captain, that one might make a lot of sense. Or going with a Green Bay with Christian Watson captain and just playing Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers. That way you're playing for the comeback. One way or another, I think a 2-4 lean or a 3-3 is going to be good with an emphasis on Las Vegas. So this has been a quick breakdown of the Showdown season slate. Again, I will put some final thoughts and some basic bullet points above this video. If you liked this video and want me to continue this format, please let me know. Leave a like, comment, all that kind of stuff, and do subscribe. I guess I'm pushing for 1,000 subscribers on YouTube now, so subscribe here, subscribe over at paydirtdfs.com if you think these models are cool and want to use them yourself, and let's hope to take down some trophies. Peace.